Hello and welcome, my name is Parky and today we're doing another Let's Create in Spore. Now this time I'm going to be taking a look at something that isn't Pokemon, oh my god, shock horror, but it's actually something else that I really love, and yes, it is another cartoon, it's Rick and Morty. Oh my god, I love Rick and Morty, it's so good. And today we're actually going to be making Mr Meeseeks. Look at me, Mr Meeseeks! Which is like the most annoying character in the world, but I love him, so let's just go for it. Now, we've got this sort of weird shape that we seem to get every single time we go into the Creature Creator. Sort of like a double blob kind of body. And actually this isn't too far off what we need. So we need a big blob head. It is literally as round as you could you could imagine, to be honest. Mr Meeseeks, he's not got like the best figure in the world. He's not been working out or anything, let's put it that way. His legs, he doesn't lift, everyone. He's not lifting, or whatever the kids say. I have no idea. So yeah, he's got a very skinny body. He's also got very skinny arms and legs, which makes it very easy for us to make him, which is kind of a good thing. Because my god, my ability to make things in Spore is very, very rough at best. Okay, so we're going to go for something like this. It goes a bit thinner towards his head, his headal region. He's got a big old head, old Mr Meeseeks. And I think this is okay. Meeseeks, even Meeseeks. Well, who the hell is Mr Meeseeks? Okay, is that good? I have no idea. I think that's probably quite good, actually. I think we want to make his body... It's a shame, actually, you can't wiggle the bodies to the sides. That would be a nice feature of Spore. But, you know, you can always hope for Spore too. I was actually having a little look into Chicken at the moment, which is another game, which is sort of like got a little bit of a creature creation side to it. But it's not really as sort of fundamentally creation-y as Spore is. But it's still amazing. I love it. But you won't be able to make Mr Meeseeks in that, unless he's a big blocky body, which would look rubbish. Okay, so I'm sort of looking for a mouth right now, and I'm just thinking there's not too many of these that are going to suit him, looking at the picture. Because unfortunately all the mouths in Spore sort of like really stick out of the head, which is kind of annoying. I'm wondering whether... Because he's got like a bit... It's like a very big mouth. It goes from one side of his face to the other side. Wondering if we get one of these? Maybe something like this? I mean, that's sort of like... I know it sticks out far too much, but I don't know whether we can actually do anything about that. I've put it back in as far as I can. I think we might have to accept it. What does it look like? Show me your teeth, creature! That's a good pickup line if you ever want one, everyone. Show me your teeth, creature. Right, okay. Well, we'll just go for that for now. His eyes are sort of like black and empty, which is kind of worrying. I think that's probably on purpose, because the whole point of a Mr Meeseeks is to do whatever you want. Whatever you ask of him. I think that seems good, like that. And then he's got some eyebrows. I mean, very easy face to be making, let's be honest. And his eyebrows, I don't know how we're going to do his eyebrows, actually. I'm wondering if we can use these. Normally these allow you to do a little bit of something interesting with them. Let's see, if we make them a little bit shorter, and then if we rotate them round... Yeah, look at this! My ideas work. He sort of looks a bit sad though, so maybe we'll rotate these up like this way to look a bit more like Shock. There we go. Something like this? Yeah, sure. Okay. I mean, it's a bit of a vague eyebrow, but that's okay. We'll pretend that it's exactly what we need. And then for his head, he's got sort of like a little fluff of hair. In fact, all Mr Meeseeks have different hair. I'm very sorry if you have no idea what I'm on about. But I think we're going to go for one of these. This seems like a good thing to go for. I mean, it's a shame, really, in the Creature Creator you can't individually colour these objects. There must be a mod out there that allows you to do something like that. But for now, we're just going to stick with that. It's all good. Okay, now, for his arms. Let's do his arms first. Now, they're not very defined, to be honest. They've sort of got a single elbow, and they're kind of angular. Not that that really gives us much choice, because the rest of his arms don't have any definition at all, so I think we're going to have to go for these again. Why do all of the creations that I have just use the base normal arms, the worst arms that you can get? Oh well. Okay, so his arms actually connect sort of into his neck, weirdly. I guess that's part of, like, animation design. I have no idea. It's kind of terrifying, actually. And let's put him into the pose that I've actually got in the image that I'm showing you, that I'm basing this on. So for this arm, if we grab this over here, he's got it sort of like on his waist in a sassy elbow pose. Something a little bit like this. Maybe a little bit more like a normal human being, though. Mind you, having said this, unfortunately, it's kind of difficult to get these arms close to the body because the hands have a hitbox. so you can't actually touch them against its own body, which is kind of annoying. I guess we'll go for something like this. Maybe if we bring it down a little bit more. Something like this, sure. And then we'll also bring this one up. We're going to have this one in a bit of a waving hand, because his favourite phrase, as you must know if you watch Rick and Morty, is, "Look at me, I'm Mr Meeseeks." Oh, I could basically be the voice actor, couldn't I? Let's be honest. Okay, so let's go for the legs now. God, I'm so sorry. This is going to be like the most annoying video ever. And we're going to go for these very smooth legs again. He's not going to be standing quite like this. He's going to have his legs attached literally to the bottom of his blob body. I mean, you can kind of see the resemblance though, and I've not actually been looking into his mouth, so maybe we can do that at some point soon. Okay, so these legs, I guess, maybe we'll just put them into a bit more of a natural pose. But I think they're pretty good as they are. Maybe we'll make them a little bit thinner. In fact, they're a bit fatter at the bottom and then thinner towards the middle, something like this. Okay, so that seems pretty good on the legs. I'm pretty happy with that, actually. Let's make these a little bit smaller at the hips. Seems good. Okay, right, and then we'll make the arms a little bit thinner at the top as well. There we go, and if we rotate this hand around so it looks like he's waving a little bit more, like this. Hey! Right, okay, perfect. Do you like my Mr Meeseeks impression? If you do, then please leave me a nice comment, or probably a dislike. Okay, let's move on to the hands and feet. I don't know whether there's any of these that are really going to fit that well, seeing as Mr Meeseeks sort of has just blob hands, like most cartoon characters. Why'd you make this more difficult for me, Mr Meeseeks? Right, so I don't really know. I guess we could just leave these ones on there. That seems a bit boring, doesn't it? We could go for these mittsy ones, because he just sort of has a thumb and then sort of mitt hands. I mean, these look a little bit insectoid, but they're the closest shape to the hands that we actually need, so I'm going to go for these. And then for the feet, let's have a little look at the feet. I think, again, we just need something as blobby as possible, which is going to be kind of difficult to do. But let's have a look. I think maybe, can we get rid of the toes on these? Make them smaller? I don't think so. God, we don't want to give him like rhino feet, that's terrifying. I mean, what we could do is try and go for these Suctoped ones and see if we can extend them in one direction. Favourite band as well, by the way, in case you didn't know. Maybe we'll go for these ones, actually. I mean, he's not got terrifying insectoid sort of claw feet. This is kind of being a bit of a pain. I'm wondering whether we go for something like human feet. But that will look strange as well, won't it? I just don't like this at all. God damn it, Spore, why did you not give me more options for feet? I need to install some mods and do some creature creations with, like, what's it called? Dark Spore injections? Dark injections mod? I can't remember. I've never tried that one. I think that's like one of the few mods on Spore that I've never had a go at. I mean, I guess we could just make him look really terrifying and put these human feet on him. He is supposed to be humanoid, so I guess in real life he might have human feet. I mean, his toenails are really disturbing looking in this game. Okay, well that seems good. Let's go on to the colouring menu, which again is going to be fairly simple because Mr Meeseeks is basically one colour, and that's not racist, it's just true. And it's pretty much this colour, although we could probably make this a little bit lighter if possible. Something a little bit like this, that seems pretty good. And his mouth is actually pretty good, I'm kind of happy with that. I mean, the thing about Spore is you could, if you really wanted to, try and create something like a mouth out of lots of different other parts that would kind of replicate how a mouth would look in a cartoon. Kind of like I did with the Jake the Dog build, where I made his eyes out of like kneecaps and stuff. But unfortunately there's a bit of restriction on the colour scheme that you give them, which is always a bit of a pain. Now there's no actual shading on Mr Meeseeks because he is all one colour. Aside from that though, he does probably need... I don't know, does he need detail? Probably not. His coat... It's a shame that you have these sort of accent highlights. I'd really like to make them all the same colour, if possible. What happens if we do this? I mean, really we need his hair to be orange as well, which is kind of annoying. Wondering if we do this, is that going to... It's going to make him a little bit more orange, but it makes it slightly closer. Like, that's not too bad, I guess. Sure, let's go into here and make this orange as well and see what this does. That's made his mouth really orange, so maybe if we make this like a blue colour, is that going to reduce the amount of orange? I don't think so. Maybe if we go in... Is this changing the tip colour of these, of his hair, like blobs? I think it might be. I think this is pretty close, actually. I think it's fairly recognisable as Mr Meeseeks. So let's just give him his name. And then of course we got to give him his famous phrase, I'm Mr Meeseeks. Look at me! Look at me! He's turned into Mario. Wonderful. Okay, so let's test drive him. For God's sake, I really hope he walks okay. Normally with bipeds like this, they do walk okay. I mean, he's got like a really sassy hand up in the air. He's like, don't be chatting about that to me, bitch! Or something like that. Is that what they do? Sassy people? I have no idea because I'm not sassy at all. I mean, he's got a bit of a floppy other hand. His left hand is sort of flapping around by his side. Whenever he turns, his head sort of goes to the side kind of strangely. Kind of looks like he's doing like a sock puppet pose when he walks along. Oh, well, that's wonderful. I'm well pleased with Mr Meeseeks. Now, if you enjoyed today's quick Spore creations, then please feel free to leave your suggestions for the next time in the comment section below. Also leave ratings, because they really help out my channel, and tell me what you like best about Rick and Morty, and maybe we'll come back and do a few more builds from the show. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, awkward, goodbye. I'm Mr Meeseeks. Goodbye, awkward.